Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Just wanted to take some time and answer some questions that have really happened not only today in the last few weeks and months, but really over the last 7 years. Myself or other of our small group leaders have gotten questions that usually have this at the beginning. I don't know if I can ask this, but. And those questions usually are things like, what does the Bible say about sex? Can I trust the Bible? Or other questions about the world. If God is really good, then why does this happen? Why do bad things happen? And, it's those types of questions that I wanted to use this platform to maybe not fully answer, but help give you some context or point you in the right direction of where you can go to get the answer for some of these. And the question I want to take time to answer today is this. Why can I trust the Bible? I mean, if we're being honest, there's some pretty ridiculous stories, it seems, that come out of the Bible. Some from the New Testament about miracles that Jesus performed, and even some out of the Old Testament that are stories that, man, if we're being honest, don't seem like they could have really happened. I mean, we look at the plagues that happened. Locust everywhere. Well, maybe 2020's taught us something about that, but the truth is that some stories in the Bible can seem more like fairy tales than real stories. And what I want to do today is offer you some practical verses about how and why we can trust the Bible. And the first of those is a cross-reference between a verse in Micah 5:2 that tells us that Jesus, or the future king, not of earthly kings, but the king, capital K king of the world, would come from the city of Bethlehem. That is mirrored in what we see in Luke 2, that Jesus actually was born in the city of Bethlehem. The specific name of the city listed there is both the same in the Old Testament and New, and that's actually an example of what we call prophecy being fulfilled. That is, someone saying something would be true about the life of Jesus in his birth, life, death, and resurrection, and then seeing that come true later when Jesus shows up on the scene. You see, Micah 5:2 into Luke 2, where Jesus is born, is the same thing. Those verses say the same thing. And that's one reason that we can trust the Bible. Yet another great example of that is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1, that tells us Jesus will be born of the line and lineage of David. And as a matter of fact, as we read Matthew chapter 1, we see one of those sections of the Bible that most of us tend to skip over. It says, so-and-so fathered so-and-so, fathered so-and-so, fathered so-and-so, and we say, I don't really care about all of these names. But it's really important for this reason. As we follow this story all the way from Abraham down to Jesus, we see that Jesus did, in fact, come through the line and lineage of David. These sections of 14 people actually are really helpful for us to see that prophecy from Isaiah comes true in Matthew chapter 1. You see, my hope and encouragement to you today is that when you read the Bible, you can trust what the Bible says. Because although the Bible is written by a bunch of different men, these men didn't spend time together. These men didn't get locked in a room or an elevator maybe and come up with some crazy story and each write a section of it. You see, what happens in the Bible is written by many people from many time periods with different backgrounds, and it all comes together to sort of seam together this perfect story of God's redemptive nature. One nugget I want to leave you with is this. We have what are called the Gospels. And see, the Gospels are the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These 4 different books are 4 different experiences of people that walked alongside Jesus. And the really cool thing about these 4 verses, or these 4 books, of the Gospels, are that they each are about experiences with Jesus while Jesus had his time here on earth, but they paint Jesus in a different light. It's almost as if you had a scene and you had 4 different artists all coming together to paint that exact same scene. We see, based on each of their different backgrounds and seats that they took and the way that the light was reflecting off of certain things, you would get a different picture from each of the 4 artists, even though they looked at the same thing. You see, perspective is different, but at the end of the day, what we get with the Gospels is a really in-depth view of Jesus' life. And it's these reasons, as just a few reasons, just to even scratch the surface of why you can actually trust the Bible. Hey, I hope this was really helpful for you, and we look forward to seeing you next week as we answer some more questions that begin something like, can I ask that? We'll see you guys.